Hello, Julie here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I just want to share a quick little freebie and a little project to using that freebie. First of all, I'll flick through the freebie. This freebie is for Junk Journal Fix with Sunflowers and Doors Facebook group, and I'll put a link to them in the description box below. You can also get it on my Ko-fi site. So we've got 3 pages, so just 3 journal pages, background pages generally. So that's one. They're a bit grungy but lacy, so a bit of both here. So these are just designed as background pages. You can use these, embellish these quite nicely. So that's the 3 pages. Then I've got a file folder that folds in half to make a pocket or whatever. I've got 3 tags. I've got 3 envelopes, a large envelope and 2 small ones. So that is the kit, the little freebie. So as I said, I'll put links to that in the description box. So now I'm going to make something with it. Okay, so I have cut out all of the embellishments and inked around them. I have backed the tags onto some coffee dyed cardstock so they're nice and sturdy, and I've put the envelopes together as well. We've got 2 little envelopes and 1 bigger envelope. So now I'm going to use one of these sheets. Let's take this one, and I'm going to create a little embellishment to go into a journal. So first of all, I want to cut it down a bit in height. So let's make it 7 inches. Let's make it 6.5 inches. Well, let's cut 2 inches off the bottom. So this is an A4 sheet, printed borderless, so it's the full A4 sheet. Now I've got the full A4 sheet still, so I'm going to just fold that over about that much. How much would that be? That would be probably about 1.25 inches. I will measure it just for those that want to know. Oh no, it's 1.5 inches. So I've folded it over 1.5 inches, and I'm going to glue that down. You could use a glue stick here if you wish. So this is just a bit of strengthening. Okay, burnish that. Now I'm going to take the other edge and fold it over about, so that I've got like about 1/2 inch showing there. Right, so. And burnish that. Okay, so that's what we have. Now I'm going to ink around this. Before I stick it down. So I'm going to make this into a pocket. I'm using my vintage photo ink around here. You could use a grey, because the background is sort of a bluey grey colour, but I think the brown goes quite well with it. I've used it on the embellishments and I like the look of it. Now I'm going to do both sides because this could be something that just sits in a pocket in your journal. Actually, how wide is it? 5 1/4. I might actually cut a bit of that off. Well, we could still a bit too wide, I think. Yeah, I think it's too wide to fit into a journal, so I'm going to cut, let's say I'm going to cut 1 inch off of that. And let's say 1.5 inches. So I'm going to cut that down 1.5 inches on the width. And then I'm going to fold that over, so I'm going to have an extra inking line there, but that's not going to make that much difference. So now so that's 4 1/2, so that will fit nicely into a pocket in an A5 size journal. Okay, let's start again. So I have got that extra line of inking there, but I'm not too worried about that. We could put a decoration of some sort along there if it bothers us. Something around my edges. Why not? Let's do that. Oh, no. Let's just leave it as it is. But you could round your edges if you wanted to. It will still be fine. Also, if you wanted to stitch, I'm not going to stitch on this particular embellishment, you would stitch before you glue it down as well, so now would be the time for your stitching. Okay, so let's stick this down now. So I'm just going to run glue here and here along the 2 edges, making a neat little pocket. Instead of cutting that off, we could have folded it under and reinforced this lip here, but depends how big you want to make your embellishment. There we go. So we've got a little pocket here now that we can put some of our things into, so we could pop our envelope in there. Like so. Then I'm going to use this piece here to put a pocket on here. Actually, we could wrap that right around, couldn't we, and have a pocket on the front and the back. So why don't we do that? So let's mark that where we want to cut it off. If I can find a pencil. There. Let's trim that. And I'm going to put a thumb notch, which is the top, that's the right way up. So let's put a little thumb notch about the centre of that one and about the centre of this one. ink around it. So also, once again, if you were going to be stitching, now would be the time to stitch. So let's glue this. So I'm going to glue the 3 sides. Now this glue does give me a little bit of wriggle time. But what I think I will do is just glue this front bit on first. Like so. And then turn it over and do the same for this side. Because I glued the other one in the centre, I don't need to do that for both sides. So I'm just going to do the bottom and the outside edge. Flip that over. Make sure we get it nice and straight with the bottom. Okay, so there we have, oh, we've got a little bit poking out there, so I'm just going to trim that off. A little bit of glue here. Let's get that off. Okay, so we can pop our envelope in there. We can pop a tag in there. And we can pop we can put 2 tags in there. And we've got a file folder here that I have not glued up yet. You can see I've cut that out and I've inked around the edges, and I've also inked just the inside down about 1/2 inch because you do see a bit of that. You can pop that in there and that tag in there. Okay, so we can use these little envelopes to embellish our pockets. So we can just glue that there. We could put a little bit of something in there. We can also put something, a label or something here. Let me collect up a few more things and we'll embellish this a little bit more. Okay, so I have gathered up some things and I'm just doing some simple decorating here. The little envelopes, I have put some paper in there. That's just a folded up strip of coffee dyed paper, and I'm going to add some of these little stickers. There's one sticker, and I'm just going to add that across there like that. I don't use stickers very often, but I should. I'm just going to burnish that down so that it's nice and firm. Now this is a label that I created. I stamped it and then cut it out. I have inked around it, so I'm just going to attach that to my little pocket. A little bit over towards this side. And attach that envelope on there. So I'm not going to put glue on that section there. that on there like that. Just run my finger under there to make sure there's no glue, which there was. It's gone now. So that's that. Now on the other side I'm going to do a similar thing. I haven't inked this one. Oh yes, I have. Yes, I have done the inking on that, so that's going to go there, and that can go on there, the opposite way this time. This one's got a piece of this same pattern paper. It was just a strip that I cut off, so I thought I may as well use that on there. Now this is going to go on there like so, so I don't want to cover that part with glue. Go. And I've got this sticker for this one. On there. And we're going to use that down. Okay, so that's our pocket all ready to go with our little envelopes on it and our writing space in the envelopes. Now let's have a look at this envelope. I'm not going to decorate the front of this envelope, I'm just going to do the back. I've got one of the these same labels that I stamped. I've stamped that onto some mixed media paper that I've just done smooshing and splashing. Yeah, I'm not really up to date with the terms, but and that's going to go on there. And then I've got another sticker. So, big sticker day today. I've got heaps of them and I thought I should start using them. Funny, aren't we? We buy all these things and then we either forget to use them or don't want to use. Ooh. That one's going to have to stay there, isn't it? Not ideal. Not ideal at all. Might have to put something else on there as well, or stamp something on that label. Could do that, or I could find another. I've got some little fussy cuts here. Perhaps I could put something like that on there. Probably that would have been better in the first place instead of the like that maybe. Yeah. So let's just quickly ink around these. that is going to go into that pocket, like so. Now let's do this one, so I'm going to put that like that. You can of course decorate however you wish. There's lots and lots of different things that you can put on here. Whatever suits your journal that you're working on. These papers and embellishments are, these, you know, tags and things are fairly neutral, so I think they'd go with just about any journal. See? Where's my bone folder gone? Okay, so that can go in there. Just the 3 tags now to finish off. So, there we have it, a very full little pocket. We've got an envelope in here, so that's a pocket. We've got a pocket here with an envelope on the front with a little bit of journaling paper in there. We've got 2 tags here that are on coffee dyed cardstock, so there's journaling space there. And on the other side we've got a file folder that you can put photos or whatever you like in there. More writing paper if you wanted to, you could pop some more paper in there, and a tag. And another little envelope decorating our pocket with some journaling paper in there as well. There we go, that's our little project for today. I hope you've enjoyed it, and don't forget the freebie, which has got everything on here is from the freebie except for the embellishments, of course, the florals and labels, but all of the rest was made with the freebie. So we get 3 sheets of journaling page and 2 sheets of embellishments. So I hope you've enjoyed that, and I'll put a link in the description box to both the Facebook group and my Ko-fi site where you can get this freebie if you're not a member of the Junk Journal Fix with Sunflowers and Doors Facebook group. Okay, well thank you for joining me, and I hope you can join me when I post my next video. Okay, bye.